G'day guys, Harvey back from JUMPSTRONGER.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at the best tib bars on the market currently. I've pretty much tested every single tib bar there is, except for the Shogun Tib Crusher, which I'm still waiting to be delivered. But I have experience with every other major brand tib bar on the market, so we're going to compare them today. We're going to find out which ones are good, which ones are worth buying, and which ones to avoid. Okay, first cap off the rank, we're going to start with the best overall. This, in my opinion, is the best tib bar on the market currently for several reasons. This is the Freak Athlete Essentials Iron Tib Bar. The one thing that really separates this tib bar from the rest is its price. Okay, this thing goes for 50 bucks, which is just absurd compared to the price of normal tib bars or pretty much every other tib bar. So not only is this the most affordable tib bar, but it actually is one of the best feeling ones to use as well, I've found. So the thing I really like about this one, see it's got nice, real thick padding here compared to some of the other ones. I'll put a photo comparison up on the screen as well, where you can see that the padding on this one is just so much thicker, and actually what happens when you're using these things and you've got your foot in here like this, the bones on your feet, so you see my finger, when I flex my fingers, my hand there, the bones kind of show through. The exact same thing happens on your foot. So your metatarsals are actually kind of very exposed and up against this bar here. And so if you don't have a ton of padding, you can actually get a little bit of pain there on your bones when you're doing your tib raises. So that's why I really like this one. It's got nice thick padding. It feels incredibly comfortable to use. The other cool thing I like about this is that it doesn't have a stainless steel weight sleeve. I keep talking about this. A lot of tib bars put a stainless steel weight sleeve on there because they think it's going to be a nicer overall experience. But what ends up happening is when you put the weights on here, if this is stainless steel, like some of the other ones we'll get onto shortly, the weights will kind of flop around a little bit when you're moving the thing. Whereas when you've got these regular metal ones with just a normal powder coat, you've got the clip on here. The plates tend to stay way more flush up against the bar here, which makes for a much sort of nicer, more ergonomic experience. You compare the price to everything else on the market, it is just leagues more affordable than anything else. In addition to that, we do have a pretty sweet discount code for you guys as well. From now until the end of 2022, you can get 20% off the Iron Tib Bar. So that'll bring it down to 40 bucks, which is like, that's just ridiculous. That's even cheaper than all the shitty Amazon ones you can find. After 2023 begins, that'll go down to a 10% customer discount code, okay? So still gonna be ridiculously affordable, but I do recommend picking up one of these before the start of next year, just in case you were thinking about getting one. The negatives of this, obviously, it's one hunk of metal, okay? And what that means is it's gonna be slightly less portable, okay? Some tib bars have a detachable weight sleeve, which allows you to take the sleeve off, and then you can kind of put it in your gym bag, and it's going to take up a lot less room. This thing is kind of, they're kind of big when it's just one unit, and they're pretty tough to store in a bag or to take to the gym in a bag. So I would prefer to see this with a detachable weight sleeve. I have talked to the guys at Freak Athlete Essentials, and they have told me that they are coming up with a new design in the future, which will have a detachable weight sleeve. So depending on when you see this, there may already be a better version of this or another product, which is going to be a little bit more portable to use. So again, if you want to get your hands on one of these, use the affiliate link in the description, or remember to use the discount code JUMPSTRONGER. Moving on to the runner-up slash what I would consider, if we considered the Iron Tib Bar as like the best sort of budget tib bar, this is what I would think is the best overall tib bar on the market. This is the Tib Bar Pro from Tib Bar Guy. Again, it's extremely similar to the Iron Tib Bar, except it's made of steel. Okay, the clips on this are exceptional. These are the best clips I've ever fucking used on anything. The other cool thing, again, regular metal powder coated weight sleeve here. So when the plates are on this clip combined with this weight sleeve, there's absolutely zero slippage with your weights when you're using it, okay, which makes it feel really nice. This one's actually got a thicker bar here than all the other Tib bars on the market. And this again is like, it's got slightly less padding compared to the Iron Tib Bar, but with the thicker bar, it actually also does pretty much the same thing, and it makes for a very, very comfortable experience here with very, very little, well, absolutely no foot pain. I mean, this thing is just perfect in every single way. Price-wise, these are going for 80 bucks at the moment, so 30 bucks more expensive than the Iron Tib Bar, but still way more affordable than anything else on the market. Again, same negatives. It is all just one piece of metal, so again, a detachable weight sleeve, which does reduce portability, but if you're okay with that, then it's totally fine. This one is a little bit smaller in length than the other ones, so it does take up a little less room. You might be able to squeeze it into your gym bag, depending on how full it is. But yeah, I absolutely love using this. It's just the best feeling Tib bar overall, I believe. The fact that it's steel as well means it should last forever. So if you want a high quality Tib bar and you don't really mind too much about portability, you really cannot go past the TBG Tib Bar Pro. And finally, we have the Tib bar from HGG Performance. This is the original Tib bar that was basically the first ever Tib bar created. HGG invented Tib bars. This one is really cool. It does have a detachable weight sleeve, okay, so you can easily chuck this thing in your gym bag. Okay, it separates into two pieces like this. Okay, you just screw it in when you want to use it. And if you're on the go, this is by far the best option on the market, okay? Now, it does have the stainless steel weight sleeve, which, again, I kind of have not an issue with, but I have a bias against the stainless steel weight sleeve because, I mean, these things are so nice and they look so pretty and they feel more quality than just the regular powder coat. I mean, obviously, like, they're way more expensive to manufacture this way as well. But the reality is, if we're talking about usability and practicality, you got your weight plates on here, you got your collar down on the weight plates, you're doing your work. Slowly but surely, they're going to start to creep up. There's going to be a little gap right here in between the weights and this collar here. And it doesn't change anything about the exercise. Like, it doesn't change the stimulus. But they kind of just flop around a little bit, and it kind of doesn't feel quite as nice to use because of that. When your weights are, if you don't readjust the clip and push them down again, you get to the end of your workout, if you do like 5 sets and the weight plates are up here and they're flopping around quite a lot. So, I mean, it's a very small gripe, but I personally, don't really like the stainless steel weight plate, stainless steel sleeves all that much. The other small thing I don't like about this Tib bar is it's actually very thin. The foot bar here, very thin. When I say it's quite narrow compared to the TBG bar. And it's got kind of thin padding in comparison to the other ones as well. And so this one I did notice when I had my feet under here and I'm doing my ankle dorsiflexion that, if you're using sort of heavy weights, you will really start to feel it on your metatarsals, on your toes there. And again, it's definitely not painful, but it just doesn't feel as good as the more thickly padded Tib bars. So it doesn't really make a difference at all. But if I had to choose between this bar and this padding, or the bar and padding on any other Tib bar, I would pick the other ones just because there is absolutely zero discomfort on my feet. The other negative with this one is that it's pretty expensive. Okay, these are 130 bucks. You compare that to the 50 bucks of the Iron Tib Bar, it's a lot more expensive, okay? Even the TBG Tib Bar Pro now, which I've said is the best overall, is significantly cheaper than this, so this one does have a couple flaws with it that I don't really like. Again, it's just my opinion. I mean, like we're talking very, very, very minor things here. This Tib Bar is fantastic and it works really good. And there's almost no difference between any of them. But in terms of like which ones I like the best, like I've just told you, okay, this one to me just isn't as fun to use as the other ones. It does look super nice, though. You can see there the HGG branding, the custom collar, the stainless steel weight plate is awesome. It's a very cool Tib Bar. If you do want to support HGG, who did invent this thing, go for one of these. It's really awesome. I did have it as my top rated Tib Bar of all time for a very long time. And yeah, you definitely can't go wrong with one of these. Steel, really great construction quality. It's going to last forever. So yeah, HGG performance, great Tib Bar. Could be a little bit improved though, I think. All right, and here we have the Triflexer from Freak Athlete Essentials. This is a single leg Tib Bar. I have done a written review and a video review of this thing. So if you want more information about this one, check out the link in the description to the other video. But essentially what this is, it's a unilateral Tib Bar. So you stick your foot in here. It's kind of like with a sandal, and you do the heel strap up here. And you're just doing your Tib raises on one foot, okay? And there's a whole host of benefits of doing Tib raises unilaterally. And I believe the Triflexer is the best and most versatile I should say, single leg Tib Bar on the market. This thing is really, really awesome. Not only because it's a great single leg Tib Bar, it's got this thing down here, a heel pivot plate, which allows you to kind of put your heel down on the ground and use that as sort of like a base to do. It's going to take the stabilizer muscles out of the movement, so it gives you a really nice sort of targeted stimulus to the tibialis. You can also stick in the two other weight sleeves on either side of this thing, which is why it's called the Triflexer, and that just transforms it into basically a monkey feet type device where you can do hip flexor, knee raises, leg curls, leg extensions. You can train your whole entire lower body with this thing. It's extremely comfortable to use. It works extremely well. And it's pretty affordable. $100 compared to the other single leg Tib Bars, which we'll look at. This thing is absolutely fantastic. Again, Freak Athlete Essentials have knocked it out of the park, as they always do. Highly recommend this if you're in the market for a single leg Tib Bar and you also want to do other sort of ATG, knees over toes type exercises. And finally, we will look at one more single leg Tib Bar. Here we have the Solo Tib Bar from Tib Bar Guy. Again, very similar design to the Triflexer here. You just stick your foot in. Okay, you use the ratchet strap here to secure it to your foot. That takes about a second or two. Then you can do your work, okay? And then when you're done, you want to slide your foot out, you just have the quick release strap here and your foot comes straight out. This is much quicker and easier to use than the Triflexer and other Tib Bars like the ISO Tib. If you're not really interested in doing any other sort of hip flexor or leg curl type exercises, and you just want a Tib Bar that's gonna burn your shins out like no other, I'd recommend going for this. It is really, really fun to use, really, really easy and quick and easy to get in and out of. And if you're just looking to train your tibs, you really can't go past the Solo Tib Bar. So overall, my two favorite Tib Bars in the world right now both come from Freak Athlete Essentials for two reasons. This Tib Bar is ridiculously affordable, okay? Tib Bars don't have to be really expensive and beautifully designed, in my opinion. They kind of just need to do the job, which is pretty simple: ankle dorsiflexion, all right? This thing does it extremely well, and it does it way, way, way cheaper than anything else on the market. This right here, the Triflexer, is just, I reckon it's going to change the game in terms of ATG, knees over toes type exercises, okay? You know, we understand the importance of training hip flexors. We understand the importance of training those hamstrings. And this functions as an extremely good single leg tib bar as well. So Freak Athlete Essentials, you can get 20% off either of these products until the end of 2022, after which you can get 10% off. I do highly recommend both of these products. And to be honest, all of the other tib bars I've talked about today, they're all really, really fantastic products. I mean, they're on my top 8 tib bars for 2022 because they're really, really good. They all function extremely well. They all do a great job. And I have tried lots of other tib bars as well, some other cheap Amazon ones that just wouldn't work at all. Like, it's amazing how non-functional some tib bars can be for something that looks so simple, but these ones are all great. I stand by all of these products, and if you don't already have one, I highly recommend picking up a tib bar. I do want to make a quick special mention to Shogun / Mr. Infinity. They do have what's called the Tib Crusher. Okay, their tib bar is also on my list of the top tib bars. I also have a video on the 3 best single leg tib bars. So we talked about 2 of them today. There is a third one that I go into detail on as well. So in that video, a lot more detail. There's an article there as well you can read that goes over everything you need to know about single leg tib bars. If you do want any more information about any of the tib bars I've talked about today, head on over to my website. There's a link in the description to the article where I explain every little detail you need to know about each of these tib bars, and I do a bit more of a detailed comparison between them. That's all I've got for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you again in the next one.